It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I know it should have happened. It should have happened in a bath, like with Salt from the Dead Sea and Enya playing and me, you know, loving my woman self. But it didn't happen like that. And I know the whole story. You know, I know vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression of the patriarchy. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of that. Like, if we grew up in a culture where fat thighs were considered beautiful, then we'd all be pounding down Krispy Kremes and milkshakes and spending our days thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture, and I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. And I was one of those women who had looked at it, and from that moment on, I wished I hadn't. I thought it was disgusting, and I pitied anyone who had to, you know, go down there. So, in order to survive, I started to imagine that there was something else between my legs. I pictured furniture, cozy futons with light cotton comforters and little velvet settees and leopard throw rugs, or pretty things. A silk handkerchief, or a quilted pot holder, or place settings. And I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of having a vagina. And whenever I had sex with a man, I would picture him inside like a faux mink muffler or a Chinese bowl. And then I met Bob. And Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. He was tall and thin and nondescript. He wore tan khaki clothes, and he didn't like spicy food or listen to Prince. And he had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent his time in the shade. He didn't express his feelings because he didn't have feelings or interests. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I dropped on the deli floor. And when he handed me back my pennies and quarters, and his hands accidentally brushed mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. And that's when the miracle occurred. It turned out Bob loved vaginas.
Yeah!
He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, but he loved the way they smelled and the way they